HDTV.
Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy HDTV coming back to you with another video. So today I actually wanted to talk about The Shawshank Redemption. So now this is a movie I feel like a lot of people consider to be a classic, you know what I mean? Like one of them great ass movies from back in the day. I actually rewatched the movie yesterday. I feel like how I feel about the movie now is super different from how I felt about it the first time I watched it. So I just want to break that down with you guys, you know what I'm saying? So like we're gonna go into a deep dive on The Shawshank Redemption today. So just to talk about the movie a little bit, so we got our boy Andy Dufresne, and this motherfucker, like, he kind of big time money making banker and shit like that, big city boy, you know what I'm saying? And he got Shorty with him and everything. And turns out Shorty ain't fucking with him no more. Shorty want that divorce, right? Shorty be fucking some other golf playing that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? So now bro, he heard about that shit. He like, shit, my Shorty switching up on me and shit. What we gonna do about this, right? So now Brody, he not in his right mind. You know, he drinking a little bit. He outside in the whip. He drinking and shit. He got the glizzy on him and shit. You know, he got the Glock loaded, ready to go, handgun and shit. He got the revolver on him and shit. You know, he got that he got that shit on him, right? Now, bro, they're contemplating. He's like, shit, do I go up in there, ruin their whole fucking day? You know what I'm saying? Or do I just let it be? Turns out, buddy, let it be, right? At least that's what he says in the beginning. That's what he tells the lawyer and shit. But ain't nobody believing him. They lock boy up for the shit he ain't even do. Right, boom, now he in the prison and shit. Now the whole movie's kind of narrated by our boy Red, our boy Morgan Freeman and shit, right? Once I saw boy, I'm like, shit, yeah, we got one of them in there. So I'm like, I'm pumped, right? Now I see our boy in there and shit. I love Morgan Freeman, you know, that's my boy and shit. So now you kind of going through the motions, right? Now Andy there, he kind of new fish, small fish and shit. They fucking with him and everything, but he gets straight raped and everything, bro. They not fucking with him, right? Him and Red, they tight now, they boys and shit, right? He gets shown to the clique, they ganged up, they doing good, right? And years be going by, boom, boom, tick-tock, fucking time is like just escaping a motherfucker. And then I feel like they take a pause from the story and they talk about our boy Brooke. Brooke's an old-timey motherfucker, right? He been locked up since he was a boy. He spent damn near his whole life in Shawshank prison, right? Turns out his boy's lucky day. They saying, you free now, gang. Rejoin society. He's back in the real world and shit. Thing is, bro's old-timey motherfucker, right? There's nobody on the outside that's waiting for him, right? He's got nothing out there. So he leaves a place where he feels like he's top shit. He has purpose, he feels valuable, he has a community, right? He's got people that respect him. He's got his own like 1-2 things that bring him joy. He's kind of feeding his birds, he's doing his thing, right? And now you put him in the real world, give him his freedom so late in his life to the point where he doesn't even fit into society. He's lonely. He's gotta work a job now. He's got no community. So this is where those concepts of like being institutionalized kind of come into play, right? Thinking about how you could be locked up for so long to the point where that's all you know. The first time I watched the movie, that was such a scary concept to me. I was so intrigued by it. I was so frightened by it. That one kind of moment with Brooks being on the outside, it was like its own message. I feel like Brooks' storyline conveyed so much. It was its own little mini movie in a way. And then of course our boy hangs himself out of just all that, probably just loneliness, but he was feeling, right? And that was crazy, man. He finally gets out and he fucking kills himself, gang. That's fuck. Moving on though, of course, we got Andy doing the dirty work for the warden and shit. Right now he kind of doing the dirty work, all that dirty money that be coming in, he doing the books and shit, because of course Andy he the banking motherfucker, right? So he kind of holding it down on that end. Along with that, we got new boy Tommy coming in, right? Tommy just a young buck in the game and shit, right? He just fucking around. Him and Andy kind of link up. He kind of goes to Andy for help with trying to get his GED and shit. He want to do good in life. He trying to hold it down for the family and shit. Andy kind of respects him and shit. They're like, alright, we good. We gonna do this, right? Turns out our boy Tommy actually knew the guy that actually committed the crime in Andy's whole situation. Now he got proof that he actually didn't do it. So then Andy goes straight to the warden with his information. He's like, yo, set me free, gang. Warden's like, fuck that. Turn around, pop, 4 into Tommy back. They straight dropped our boy, bro. So that was fucked up, right? They throw Andy in fucking solitary confinement and shit. Buddy's like in a dark ass box and shit, bro, praying for our dog. He in there 2 months. That's fucked up. That's inhumane, gang. That's fucked up. Andy comes out of all that shit. He talks to Red and shit. Now he telling Red, he's like, bro, we gonna get the fuck out of here. In so many words, he not really saying that, but you know, he's trying to keep hope and shit, and he letting Red know, he's like, bro, I ain't fucking with this shit no more. The fuck going on with Andy now? Red kind of worried and shit. Next thing you know, you got Andy asking for rope and shit. Everybody kind of worried. So now we got Red going to sleep. He kind of worried. He's like, shit, is Andy gonna hang himself? Boom, morning comes. Turns out Andy not even in his cell. We got the warden coming in, throwing rocks at the wall and shit. Find out there's a hole behind the poster, hole straight through the wall, and then we see our boy escaped, gang. Time goes on, Red gets free, they link up in the end. Happy ending, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful story in its entirety, you know what I mean? I don't want to take anything away from it, but I do feel like there are a few things they could have added to the story that would have made it even that much better. One of them being, I feel like they could have fleshed out Red's storyline a little bit, because we have Andy going through the story. Andy's kind of like the character that doesn't really change, right? Andy kind of has hope throughout the entire movie, right? He's kind of putting things in motion, playing that song on the speakers, right? Trying to motivate people, trying to show them, like, you know, to keep hope and everything. Andy's actually sort of the character that changes Red throughout the story. Red goes from a hopeless type of motherfucker to actually having hope by the end of the movie. So I understand that dynamic. I understand what they were kind of going for in that scenario, but I do wish that we fleshed out Red a bit more, because the way I see it, I feel like Andy's going through the movie knowing he's innocent, right? So it's easy for him to latch on to the concept of hope because he knows he doesn't belong here. He knows he's an innocent man. For him to kind of latch onto the idea of hope, work towards his escape, it makes sense. But I feel like if we go through this journey through Red's eyes, solely remembering that Red actually committed murder. So I wish we kind of peeled back the layers on Red a bit more, got into his headspace, maybe understood his story a bit more about what he did back in the day that actually got him locked up, right? I wish we kind of felt his pain on some nights. I guess I just wanted to see a bit more dynamic storytelling through both perspectives, right? Because I feel like we go through the narration from Red and he's always talking about Andy. We're never really in Andy's mind. So I feel like there's disconnect on both levels, because we're hearing the story about Andy through Red, but we don't really know Red and we don't really know Andy. That's just how I felt on the rewatch, you know what I mean? I still feel like the whole concept of keeping hope and being hopeful is super powerful throughout the film. And of course, the movie a classic, gang. I ain't trying to take that away from it. Rewatching any movie at different stages of your life, I feel like you can start to kind of pull new things from it. You can see things in different perspectives. And I feel like that all just comes down to a lot of the experiences throughout your life. I feel like it's important to kind of watch some of these more mature movies with more mature themes at kind of some of these more mature ages, right? Because I feel like that's when you can really appreciate the storytelling, really appreciate what the movie's really trying to say. It's crazy to think about how one of the biggest monsters in the movie wasn't even one of the fucking people in the prison, you know? It was a fucking warden, gang. Warden was the most cold-blooded motherfucker in that motherfucker, bro. It also made me think about how if you can add value in certain situations, it can definitely kind of better your circumstances, you know what I mean? Because Andy's kind of holding down all the dirty money and shit, and that gave him a lot of privileges within the prison, right? Kind of gave him a little bit of immunity until he kind of turned around. The warden was kind of a bit more worried about the freedom that Andy might receive, or the hope that Andy was clinging to when he came to the warden with the possibility of getting out. That shit crazy, gang. They don't want you to win in this game, bro. Alright, so that's just my 2 cents on the movie, gang. Let me know what you guys thought about the film. If you've seen it, you know, if you haven't seen it in a minute, give it a rewatch, you know. This shit's still a classic, gang. I ain't gonna lie, shit a classic. Even when it comes to the classics, man, I feel like there's sometimes certain elements that they could have added just to enhance it even that much more. Hope you guys doing good. Hope you guys staying blessed. Wishing you guys nothing but success. It's your boy HDTV, gang. Peace.